been going on in the business. So we've been up in the Kimberley. A lot of people said, "Hey, you're back from your holiday." It was far from a holiday. The boys and I went up to the Kimberley. We went to do an installation up here. Actually, amazing area. So we thought we were going to have a holiday. We did have planned to have 4 days off, but we had an adventure. We had the truck. We had to get the truck through a river, which is called the Pentecost. So if you want to do some research of that, we had to get our truck through the river. Truck didn't make it, so we had a bit of an adventure getting the truck in and out. So absolutely amazing area. You will see a lot more updates. This is their old ground mount system. They've lived on up there for a very, very long time. I think I saw this installation date of these were like in the 90s, which is pretty cool. So just on this property here, I want to sort of start. We had a lot of customers basically once they've installed a solar system. I'll just let this play in the background. But once a lot of customers get to install a solar system, there's a big question a lot of people ask is like, what size is your solar system? Now, off grid, it's very different because when you install a grid connected solar system, you put 8 kilowatts of panels up with a 6 kilowatt inverter. So really you've got a 6 kilowatt system. So your solar system can pull 6 kilowatt. Most people do call, if you're 8 kilowatts of panels and 6 kilowatt inverter, they call it an 8 kilowatt system. As an example, back in the early days when I first started this industry, I advertised all our systems as 6 kilowatt systems with 8 kilowatts of panels, and people didn't buy them. So I actually had to rename because 8 kilowatts of panels and 6 kilowatt inverter were really, that's what you've got. You've got a 6 kilowatt inverter. That's the system's all it's ever going to do maximum. So with an off-grid system, there's so many different things in it. Now with this system here, as an example, so just on this roof here, we installed a 6 kilowatt inverter with 8 kilowatts of panels. On another roof, we installed a 6 kilowatt inverter with 8 kilowatts of panels. We then installed a couple of MPPTs and then inverters and things like that. So at the end of the day, this system here, I think it was over 30 kilowatts of solar panel that were installed. I think it was over 30 kilowatts of inverters, grid connected inverters and off-grid inverters. And we also installed 25 kilowatt hours of battery storage. So, the system is really a 30 kilowatts of solar panels, 30 kilowatts of inverters, and 25 kilowatt hours of battery storage. So, so that's the system. That's where we've been at. So if we've been hard to get hold of, we were literally up here the boys are up there for almost on a month. I was in there for about 14 days. I flew in and flew out. So it's a big job. And with the issues and stuff that went on getting there, we lost some days. So we literally worked pretty much before the sun got up, and we were definitely still going when the sun went down each night. So that was a Kimberley job. So today, guys, I want to talk about battery prices and why the price of batteries is going to go up. And it's pretty simple. If you just look around the world, what's going on, inflation's gone through the roof. But besides that, the prices of copper have just spiked out of nowhere. While I was away, I got some notifications saying the price of copper have gone up. And from an inverter point of view, most really good quality inverters is like off-grid. Copper is a huge part of the inverter. There's a big toroidal transformer in them. The weight majority is copper. So I see the price of inverters going up over time purely because of this here. The main reason though I see prices going up is pretty much shipping costs. Now, this is an article from Bloomberg back in April that shipping costs have actually 25 to 50% higher than what they were 12 months ago. And I really can relate to this. We had a customer, they basically bought a property. They're from the States. They brought a property over here in Australia, and they wanted to bring their own solar panels. They had a really cool carport solar panel. It was clear. It was really sexy, this solar panel. It cost them a couple of grand to get the panels shipped over here, and we just had them shipped back because they had to sell the property because of the virus, and they can't actually get out here. So we just shipped their solar panels back. And I've spent over $10,000 shipping their solar panels back from. So I've been helping them out with the freight and stuff like that. It's been crazy. I've seen that the price is 5 times of shipping the panels back. So it's something to really be aware of. And I don't see the price of things getting down. The price of batteries and things like that is just going to go up purely because of things like this. So with freight and stuff like that, the products themselves might get cheaper to make, but when we go through things like this, it's just going to put the prices up. Now with batteries, there's a pretty cool battery technology. This is actually getting made in Queensland. It's a new hydrogen battery. There's a lot of hype around at the moment on TV about this. There's hydrogen batteries. They're going to be making these up here in Queensland. Now, it doesn't actually really go into the specs and the details, but it's a $35,000 investment, and it says it can power a typical Australian house for up to 2 days. Now, the reality is in Australia, most people will pay about $1,000 a kilowatt hour for a battery installed. I think this is probably, in a typical house in Australia, use about 18 kilowatt hours a day. So I reckon that this here is probably about 30 to 35 kilowatt hours of usable storage, because it says it can power a typical house for over 2 days without any charge. So I think it's going to be around that. So it's a pretty cool product. And the hydrogen is stored in a solid state, so it's not dangerous. And it's actually been made here in Queensland, which is pretty cool. So we'll be bolting some of those to the side of houses in a few years, and they'll be actually starting manufacturing in 2022, which is pretty cool. So something to look at. I'll leave all the descriptions in the links for these things down below. Now, what I want to get into today is actually found this really cool product. Now, SunPower solar panels, we love these Maxion solar panels. So probably for us, they're the most common panel that we sell and install with the SunPower products. Now, the reason I love Maxion, they're actually a panel made completely different to anything else on the market. So they've got a full copper backing on them. One of the biggest failure points in solar panels is the connections between the cells. Now, SunPower have a full copper backing on the back of these cells to connect them up. Now, with these panels, and the reason I bring up this video, I'll put the link in below, is a lot of people don't realize with SunPower, as an example, Will Prowse does a lot of DIY stuff in the States. I love this guy. He does some really cool testing. So during my life, it's going to be like one day, it's just testing solar panels and products and making YouTube videos. Now, with SunPower, for example, so Will's got these SunPower cells. They're called Renogy Eclipse. Renogy actually uses SunPower cells, have SunPower make these panels for them, basically. They're advertised as a 100-watt panel, but they produce 110 watts. If you want to watch the video and check it out, most panels in this test got about 90%, I think actually the best was, for best performance. That's why I really love the SunPower cells. They just really do overperform. So I'll put the link to this video in there. It's a good 15-minute video to watch, and it really, a lot of people, when it comes to what size system I've got, people sort of look at it and go, well, I've got a 6 kilowatt system. They look at a lot of the price, and you're selling this for this and the same thing. SunPower panels, they just do overperform. There's just, yeah, they do. That's been my experience. Every SunPower system I've ever installed just over-exceeds my expectations and customer expectations. I've actually even installed a system once that blew the mind out of SunPower how much it overperformed. It was pretty crazy. So any of you guys have solar analytics in your monitoring, you notice you get those overperformance notifications all the time. Something's wrong with your solar system. Most people with SunPower, that just happens. So have a good watch of this video. It really shows the difference between the price, and you actually get to see the real difference. And one of the biggest things that changes the price of a solar system is the cost of the solar panels. Most of us with batteries, there's a couple of $100 in here. Inverters, there's a couple of $100 here and there. A lot of companies just use cheap solar panels to reduce the cost. It's that simple. And you can actually see Will does a couple of panels in here, which is one of the biggest selling panels in Australia, one of their commercial panels that actually performs 50% less than what was rated. So it's only a couple of years old. He's actually a panel that's secondhand, a couple of years old. It's huge in Australia. It's sold. One of the, I reckon it's probably the number 3 selling panel in Australia because of its price. And yeah, it's only doing 50% of its rated. Of the SunPower cell is doing 100. The SunPower cell is brand new, and I've got plenty of data of SunPower cells over the years. They do still perform over the time. So it's one really good thing about the SunPower. So yeah, something to check out with the panels. With that there, some other cool things that happen in the industry is these bifacial panels. And in the video, you'll see Will does some testing on bifacial panels. I really love this idea of fencing your chickens in with solar panels and using solar panels as fences and things like that. So, you know, we want to be able to capture as much as we can with those areas and where we can produce solar. So this is pretty cool. If you want to check out the article, the link will be in the link below. Now, some other things, guys, just before we move on. If you haven't, Bitcoin's a huge thing that's going on at the moment around the area, how to make money out of Bitcoin and things like that. We've actually got some miners. You can check out one of our Bitcoin mining videos and how profitable it is. There's been a big thing since the Bitcoin price has just crashed in the last few weeks. Even though it has crashed, as of shooting this video, it is it's almost 3 times this price it was at the start of this year. So it's certainly quite high. We get a lot of questions. A lot of people want to ask us about how Bitcoin mining. So you can actually check that video out. The link will be in the description below. We actually are working on some products at the moment for this sort of stuff here as a business. Now, I want to explain the off-grid kitchen. A lot of our customers said, hey, we've started a kitchen channel. It's not, our off-grid kitchen channel is about an off-grid lifestyle. So for me, I got in this industry about starting and living this lifestyle. And since I've moved to Lismore in the last 4 years, I've had nothing but work, I've done nothing at home in my garden, haven't done anything in my house. So there's a lot of things I want to get stuck into and go back to this, living this lifestyle. That's what it's about. So the off-grid kitchen is more about how to live your life in an off-grid way, that recipe to make an off-grid life. Yeah, we do talk about off-grid cooking because it's a big part of living off-grid in your life. We know we cook and we eat, so we talk about some energy-efficient appliances and things like that. On this channel, we are going to be covering how to make money off-grid, and we've been working with the Bitcoin miners. We've actually working to testing some products at the moment that, because off-grid, for us when we're connected to the grid, you see this graph here, rather than feed it back to the grid, we actually turn it into Bitcoin. It's actually more profitable. Even if the Bitcoin prices are down at $3,000, it's more profitable for us to have a miner and send that, energy back to the grid and turn it, rather than send it back to the grid, it's actually better off turning it to Bitcoin. So this here you see is how we dump. This is not our system. This is someone else that does it with this. They use a product to, when they see the solar system dump the grid, a relay kicks in and then starts the Bitcoin miner. So yeah, so that's what our off-grid kitchen channel is all about, is that off-grid lifestyle. Now, if you're into off-grid living, and that's what you're doing, you want to share your story. And what we're looking for on this channel is more people to share their stories of what you do in your off-grid lifestyle. We've got some pretty big guests coming on this channel. So we're going to start doing some live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. Is it going to happen? Tuesdays is going to be, we've got some, those Michael Mobbs from the Sustainable House in Sydney's come along, Jeff Lawton. We've got some really special guests from some big industry players in Australia with some products and things like that. So it's more about, we're going to get other people on the channel to talk about their journey and their lifestyle and what they've done in the industry and some tips and tricks. I know with Michael Mobbs, I remember when I first met Michael back in, I think it was about 2014, Michael and I first met, started a relationship. We've actually got a funny relationship. When we first started, Michael pretty much, didn't want to work with me. So, and now Michael and I, we do a lot of work together. So it's interesting. But I've learned a lot of what not to do from working with Michael. I've seen his mistakes over the years. And, even for me, I've made a lot of mistakes over the years in my own place and things like that, of systems I've designed and put it at home that just haven't worked. So that's what we're looking to do, is share those stories and stuff like that. So if you've got if you've got a story you want to share and come on the channel, let us know. This is all about promoting your situation, some tips and tricks that you would give to people that want to take this journey on in the future and make a difference. So cool. I really think that's the video, guys. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications. So turn on all the notifications so every time we do an update. And we're going to start doing some more regular updates with some more people on the channel. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks and have a great day.